So today I will be retrofitting this Corolla LED projector into my Suzuki GS500 headlights that already have been retrofitted with the Morimoto H1s, and I'm just doing it for a little extra looks. The first thing I'm going to do is grab this heat gun and work around these edges and try and heat them up, and then pry at it with a screwdriver. So now that the projector and the lens have been separated, or the headlight and the lens have been separated, we can now remove this retainer right here that holds the bulb. Two. 3. Take this clip off, and then you loosen your lock nut, which might be hard. So once you have the projector out, then you can, mine's a little cracked from an accident, but then you grab your Corolla projector and you start seeing where you could put it. And you want it pretty flush, so I want this flush with right here. So the only thing that's going to be sticking out is this lens. So I'm going to have to do a lot of trimming for this back heatsink. Just make sure that you do have enough back, like you have enough space back here that it'll all fit, or in the back of your motorcycle, because this is a motorcycle headlight. Because if you go through all the process of putting this thing in and then you don't have enough space, that's just a waste of time and money. And then to cut away at this reflector, you can use anything, a hacksaw, Dremel, and it depends on the material of your housing. I don't know what mine is, but it's not metal. It's like some dried, I don't even know, but my knife will just cut through it. It might take some time, but I'm in no rush, so it'll get through it, and when I cut out a little section and test fit, I'll update you guys again. So another way, like a brute way you can do it, is if you have these little cutters, you can just start like cutting, and the pieces will be flying off, but it's just a brute way. After that, you might want to like sand it, but it's way quicker than sawing at it or trying to make it look nice, since this is already cracked and broken. When you put this projector in, you won't even see that, and if you do, I mean, don't matter to me. It's probably going to go down a few more times. So I've got the projector sitting in there, and now I'm putting it back in the housing, and the heatsink doesn't quite fit. So I'll be trimming a little back piece here, so that when it sits in there, and when the screws are in, that it'll sit in there straight, and I'll be able to adjust it as much as I need to. So I've got the projector in there, and I checked and made sure that it's straight, so the beam will be straight, and then I partially screwed it in and cut it out so it fits just fine, except for this side on the right, where I'll have to trim it a little. But I've got some miscellaneous screws from things that didn't exactly turn out, and I'm gonna screw it in, because all 4 screws fall in there. So it's really secure right now. It's not going anywhere, but as an extra security measure, especially when the bike's gonna be shaking and vibrating. So what I'm gonna do now is just drill these holes so I can put some bolts in there. Okay. Projector out. And then put in some bigger drill bits. Put the projector back in. Make sure the holes still line up. In our case, it does. So now I'm just going to grab some screws. Okay. And then you want lock nuts to go with these screws. These are the wrong size, but I've got the right size somewhere else. Okay, one through. Okay. Okay, to speed up the process, you could use like a impact driver. Okay, and it's still wobbly up here, but I'll throw some screws through there, and then nuts on the back. As you can see right there, I'll nut it, maybe even drive it through the back case here, and make sure that it's still aligned, because you do not want a crooked line going down the highway or the road. Just makes you look funny, even though this is probably the most ghetto LED retrofit on YouTube, so stay tuned. So now to get the nuts tightened, I'm going to have to undo the adjuster here. One here. Okay. Needs a few more turns. This one's out. This one's out, and my particular headlight requires a little tug. It's all out. So now we just find our screws. Screw them down here. One here. And one here. Okay, just need a pliers of some sort. And I like to tighten one side a little and flip it over to this side so one side's not just turning. As you can see, the projector's kind of getting pulled in. Probably not with my jerky movements, but okay. Then finish tightening this one. Okay. And I mean, the projector is snug. However, since things usually go wrong for me, I like to add an extra nut just so it doesn't back out. And for extra security, you can add like a thread locker. I'm using red, which I highly do not recommend because it's going to be a pain to take it off. but I can't find the blue one, so I'm just gonna apply a little red on these threads here. And then thread it on. And I'll grab one more nut here. And throw a little red on here. Cap back on. And finger tight is usually good enough for me. You can tighten it down more if you'd like, but usually yields good results for me. Projector's not going anywhere, and yes, this is cracked. Just throw the projector back, line it up, and I mean this is GS500F specific, but you can adapt it to your own use. And you see that this bolt does not fit. It's too long, and is the case for that one down there. So we're gonna do a little fixing of that. It's really simple, and I'll show you how in the next clip.